Welcome to the Powderham Classic Car Show, organised by the Crashbox and Classic Car Club, and this year is celebrating 50 years since its first show back in 1975. And it's a fantastic show. There's around 1,800 cars here. There is a massive amount of clubs representative, and behind us is a load of individual displays. And here we're in the Crashbox and Classic Car Club's own enclosure, and just look at the fantastic sort of range of cars they've got in here. We're going to take you on a bit of a whistle-stop tour around the show. There's so much to look at, we don't want this becoming like a 3-hour epic. So what we're going to do is have a whistle-stop tour over on the club side and on the individual side, and then what we'll do is drop in some little interviews and other information about some of the things going on at this show. So this is the club area for Powderham, and it's massive. It goes all the way over there. It's almost into like another time zone. It's fantastic. So there's so much to cover. We're going to have to go really briefly through it. This is the modern classic stand. Love the E30 convertible there. And also the Z3, they're very much coming classic. They were right on their backside at one point. I was going to use another word there. And you know, they're really bouncing back. Nice little Honda. Oh, is that a Prelude with the boot? No, it'd still be the Civic with the boot, wouldn't it? And then we've got a little Peugeot 106 Rally with those very distinctive wheels. Nice Honda Prelude there. And they've got a great selection this stand here, haven't they? You've got things like the XR2 and MX-5 along the back, which again, MX-5 very much becoming classic. And then we've got this great Audi coupe with that big V6 engine in it. It looks really, really clean. I've got to say the inside of my car is not that clean. And then I've got a really nice SLK here. I did like my SLK. Unfortunately, nearly 200,000 miles did rather kill it, I'm afraid, but hey ho. Nice Series 2, S2 TVR there. Again, TVR's one group that do seem to always have strong support of these shows. Then we'll have a little wander through the West Forth Classic stand. Nice BSA there, little grey. And then look at this little Fizzy. I don't know what engine it's got in it. I'd imagine that might be something like a little AR125 or something. But that is going to fly. Well, maybe a little TZ50. Oh! Opel Manta, nice early one of these. Oh, down to an Opel GT, not a Manta, sorry. It was the pre-runner to the Manta. And the thing with these headlamps, they look like pop-up headlamps that do that, but they're actually headlamps that do that. And then in the back of this little pickup over here, we've got a little Tomos moped. Now, you're going to show your age. Do you remember those Tomos mopeds being sold in Woolworths? £199, I think they were. Someone will correct me, I'm sure. And then a couple of nice cars at the front here. We've got the Zephyr and the BMW. I think that's E28. E28, nod at me. Yeah, it is an E28. Thank you. We'll skip over that bit. Right, let's whiz back. We've got the Porsche Club here on our left, and there's a group tucked under the, we'll have a quick look at them. Group tucked under the trees there. Some nice sort of, would they be 30s, 40s pickups? And sort of very much a California look. And then we'll work our way down. We're in obviously loads of Porsches on our left. And then on the right, we've got the Vault, who do a sort of premium automotive storage. They've got a nice Lambo and very similar colour McLaren there. They are one of the show sponsors, and obviously it very much helps the show operate that these guys support it, along with Refuel, who are next to them, and the other sponsors, Cherished Vehicle Insurance Services, and of course Exminster Garage are one as well. As I say, unfortunately we're going to have to keep this a bit of a whistle stop job. We've got the Cobra Club here on the left. So nice selection of them over there, and then we'll start working our way back up the field, I think. Who have we got there? This is the MG Owners Club. Oh no, MG Owners Club is the next one. Not quite sure who these guys are. Nice selection. Is that Vantage? And then we've got the MG Owners Club. Don't think I'll be allowed in with my midget, particularly at the moment. It's not being very well behaved. They've got some very nice examples there, nice MGA there on the end. And then of course you've got the what are called semi-modern MGs, I suppose. Well, obviously we had that MG Rover period between sort of 2000 and 2005. They're very much becoming the sought after classic now. So I think what we'll do is we'll charge down the outside. We've got the Aston Martin group on the right there, and then we've got the Tamar Historic Transport Club with a nice selection there, slightly more older classics, a couple of Austin Healey 3000s, nice Cortina over the back there, Rover P4, big old Auntie Rover on the left there, and what's that? Is that an A30 on the back there in the middle. And then on our right, we've got the Jowett Car Club. Jowett's made in Bradford. Were a popular car on its day. I think they did the coupe, well, not little convertible up there. You can see on the right. That was the Jupiter, I think. And but unfortunately, they came to a halt in the 50s, I think. And then on our left, we've got the Nobby No Mates Classic Car Club. Lovely name. No friends. No members, no point. Do like that. And you see these, a lot of Austin Healeys here with different grills. These are the 104, so they're the, oh, that's 100M, which I think is quite a special one. That's the Le Mans one. They're the earlier version of the ones we saw, well, they're actually up on the left-hand end there. So the 104 developed into the 3000. Nice, is that a Mexico? Is it a Mexico? No, it is an RS 1600. That's even rarer than the Mexico. And then, what on earth? Oh, Panhard. That is very, oh, that is quality barn dust on that one, isn't there? Absolute quality. Right, what else have we got? If you want to swing around to your right, Comstock Garage, village not far from me. Selection of almost motorsporty bits there with a, is that stock car racing still, or midget racing? Not sure. And a little Nissan Micra there with quite a lot of spotlights to scare the natives. And then we'll carry on. More Rover P4s on your right. Well, I didn't realise there were so many P4s going. Oh, look, motorsport one there. Wow, you don't see many of them, do you? Nice bit for classic trialling or classic rallies, that kind of thing. And then we'll look on the left. I know you're getting grumpy with me, Jason, for going side to side. But we've got some, the Morris Minor group there, I would suggest it is, with the selection on the front there. Traveller at this end. Always a car that makes you nervous, don't looking at the rock with a Traveller, but there we go. And then we've got the Slightly Bewildered and Bemused Wanderers. I think there should be a prize for the best best club name, because I think some of these are absolutely brilliant. And then we got the Scooby-Doo Brigade on the left there. God, look at the colour of this one in the middle. That's eye-catching. Is that a wrap? Don't like to look too close. No, it looks like it could be painted. Oh, it could be painted. I could be wrong. So what else have we got? Let's peek over here. The North Devon Sports and Classic. Ah, they put on their own show, these guys. We did stop for a chat with them last year. What we've got, what we're going to pick out, nice little Spitfire on the right there. Same engine as my midget, which is causing me heartache at the moment. But I'll try not to mention it too many times. And then we've got the RS Owners Club on the left here. And we've got the RS Owners Club on the right. But anyway, just going to take you over to this one. Oh, look at that one, nice one. That is the, what was the rally driver? It'll come to me in a minute. Roger Clark, got there in the end. I knew I'd get there eventually. Hello! And RS 3100 Capri. There are only, I think, 248 of these made. Capris are my thing. notice it by ductile spoil, and also the very short side vents on the side, that gives it away. This was right at the end of production. There were some great pictures of these with Jackie Stewart when he was Kirkstown track up in Scotland somewhere. So let's just peek our head down here a little bit. So again, MR2s, can we all remember when they were like 1,500 quid? They really weren't big money, were they, at all? And then, oh, we got to have a kit car moment. You know, we got to have a kit car moment. Marlin Hunter. These weren't built very far from here, Crediton in Devon. And they were just such a nice car. Went later on, I don't know what this one's based on. Oh, this one's on a Ford Mechanicals, but a friend of mine who's sadly no longer with us built one on a BMW base, and that was a fantastic car. Well, we've got nice Mercedes SL there. Trying for test with the red stripe down the side. Oh, hello! Look at this. We got. Oh, sorry. I know Paul from the this group. If I don't give them a bit of a plug, they'll shout at me. So Paul, don't get on me back. I'm trying to get around an awful lot of cars in a very short period of time. So look at this. I don't think that came out of the factory like that, do we? And the fact it's got an E-reg, and these were built in the 50s and early 60s, I think that's something like a Suzuki underneath it. Yeah, looking at the wheels, that is pretty much definitely a Suzuki under it. But yeah, what a fun bit of thing. And then what have we got? Nice little Wallace and Gromit van at the back. Oh, Fun in the Sun, Cornwall Rally 2026. There you go, if you want to get involved. Right, let's swoop round. Who can I annoy over here? Is my mate Ralph here? No, I can't see him. Austin 7 group. See, we go on about the older classics are sort of losing interest and value, but the Austin 7s do seem to still. You're going to shout at me because I just hit the mic, didn't I? But the early Austin 7s, or the Austin 7s in general, still seem to hold that interest. Who have we got here? The Rusty Flange Racing. Yeah, the great names are still coming. I love it. I love it. Hey, then there's an XR2 I prepared how I would prepare my car. Nice bit of dust on it, mate. I love it. And then, cool, you don't see many of these for those who are into their bikes. If you've got a bit of noise in the background, it's a train. The Yamaha XT350, those sort of trials motocross bikes back in the day. Mark II Escort van, cool, you don't see many of those there. What have we got over t'other side? Exeter 2 and 3 wheeler club. Yeah, well, I think a few people have broken in there. Ah, okay, classic motorcycles and light cars. And then this is the edge of the trade area, and the trade area, that's one of the things that have struggled in recent years with shows. Obviously, so many people ordering stuff off the internet, and the trade element's gone down, but this one is still really strong, and it's good stuff. It's not just everybody trying to flog your craft stuff or, you know, change your power supplier and that kind of thing. It's real proper old school auto jumbly kind of stand, so you might just find the bit you're looking for in there. And then I do like this. Who doesn't love a bit of metal flake? Look at that. No idea, that'll be a Beetle based buggy, but I've got no idea which one. Back in the 60s they were all over the place, but inside and out, that is glorious. Love it. And a day like this is going to pick that paint out beautifully, isn't it? So who are these guys? Volky Folks Air Cooled. Yeah, not the best name, but still I like it. I like it. Yeah, obviously a nice selection of the Beetles there, early ones. Very low suspension, possibly running on bags. And you've got the Vintage Motorcycle Club Dartmoor section on your left. I can pick a couple out there I can talk about, but not many. The silver bike at the front there, Honda CBX 6-cylinder, great bike of its day. It was just Honda showing, as they often do, what they could do. And then to the other side, we've got the Mercedes Club. Look at that lovely SL, is it Pagoda? Yeah, it's an SL, the Pagoda one. saw one of these go through in the auction we did on the Door and Reese auction, and this one, I'll be honest, actually looks a little bit nicer. I like the colour, it looks good in black. So we'll trundle on down. As I mentioned in the intro, this is the 50th year that this show is, or 50 years since the first time this show was held.
Yep.
And the club have put on this fantastic display of some cars that were there at the first show back in 1975, and at the end we've got a couple of cars that were for sale as brand new cars in 1975.
Correct.
But
Yep.
I've got even something better. I've got Mike Lavers, who is chairman of the Crashbox and Classic Car Club, who was there.
I was only 22, so those with a fast mind will realise I'm now 72, and these cars were there. And we'll start with a little Morris.
Yeah, they've got a little Morris 8 here, and I believe didn't you have one of these yourself?
I had one of these myself. It wasn't rebuilt at the time, so mine wasn't there, but my friend Mike, who still owns it, his car was there. It's here today.
And then we got this great Bentley of 1932, I believe.
No, 1926.
Oh, okay.
1926 3-litre Bentley, owned by the same family since about 1960. At the time, the owner of the car was Dave Wickers. He was our chairman then, and his sons brought it today, and it looks stunning, doesn't it?
It does, it looks absolutely fabulous. Tell us more, going back, obviously that first show was held up in the castle courtyard. Tell us a couple of quick things. What did you do on the day?
Yeah, on the day I had a very special job. I got awarded the Golden Shovel afterwards. I dug the latrines with 4 other people, hole in the ground, box on the top, 4 posts, bit of canvas and a toilet roll. Very good. Worked well, but they wouldn't allow you to do it now.
No, I can imagine that would be a bit of a problem. And there was a little story about the wine cellar in that.
Yes. We decided it would be a cunning plan to park all the cars, and we had about 60 of them, in the castle courtyard, and which we did with great difficulty. It was like a supermarket car park, not much space. Then the Earl of Devon came out and said, "You can't park there, it's on top of my wine cellar. The roof might not take the weight." Well, it did, and we did it that year, but we haven't done it since.
And the incredible thing is you've grown from like 60 cars up to 1,800, so you've seen the whole of that growth over the years.
Yes, it's got bigger and bigger, and there's even a talk about should we make it a 3-day event next year.
Oh, that'll keep me busy. Going back to the cars, got a couple of Morgans here. What can you tell us about that?
Well, this Morgan is owned by one of our club members. He's actually Sean Anthony. He's in charge of the steam. Has a company that sells new Morgans. That belonged to his father, and it's been in the family since Noah was a lad. His father was here with the car when I think he was only about 7 years old. And this Morgan belongs to a friend of his late father, and that was here when we had the rally as well.
And then at the end, we've got a couple of cars back from 1975. Now I can actually remember but I was around. I was just 7. I wasn't 22.
Yeah.
But tell us more. It's interesting when you look at this. You think, well, these were the cars 50 years ago. I'm wondering what's going to be here in 50 years' time.
Well, that's what I've been wondering as well, because I don't somehow think that electric cars are going to have the same mystique as an smelly internal combustion car, as the people would say these days that like electric cars. But they've got something about them. All electric cars, designed by computer, they all look very similar. So hopefully, if we look after these cars, and we don't own them, we are custodians. We pass them on to the next generation. I just hope the next generation will actually appreciate them and keep them running.
Well, I hope so too as well. Mike, thank you so much for taking time out. I realise it's a really busy day. You've got so many volunteers and everything, so really appreciate you taking the time out.
Well, I really appreciate you giving me the publicity here, and all I can say is we're so lucky. 50 years, hopefully it'll be running for a lot longer, but just remember, these things don't happen just like that. It's a week's preparation, and probably 200 or 300 people who are marshalling, doing things. Without them, this wouldn't happen.
MGB group there on the left, but we'll look on the right because we got the scimitar. Is it scimitar or scimitar? Never sure. Obviously GTE there, but this one I think is a one-off. I've seen this at another show locally, and I had a brief chat with the guy. I think it was one of the ones we did with the Southwest Classic Car Club. And I was going to say it's got, I'm not even sure what, because I thought they'd have the Ford, they used to have the Ford V6, and I don't think that is. Oh, could be, yeah. Could be. I could be wrong, because that's what they had at one point. But yeah, that is a home-done convertible. Of course, they got a separate chassis underneath, so there's no compromise on the strength of the vehicle or whatever. So, but yeah, and then obviously one of the later, might have been a Middlebridge built one there. And again, another MG group with the later cars, the ZRs, ZSs and ZTs. And then there's Harry Potter corner right in front of you down here, which is the Ford Anglia Club. A couple of other classics in the back, some Fiestas have slipped in the back, and of course you'd argue the Fiesta was the Fiesta the successor to that. Yeah, probably. I think some would argue the successor was probably the Escort. Yeah, you're probably right. What's this thing on the end? Absolutely no idea. Let's have a look. Does it give us a clue? Go on, give us a clue. It is, oh, it's an Anglia. Turismo or Turimo. So that would be an Italian version. And actually, now looking at it again, if we look at the door section, the door looks the same, but the rest is obviously been Italianised, if that's a word. Is Italianised the word? Yeah, I suppose so. And then oh, here comes the train again. Wave at the train driver. Triumph Sport 6 Club. Yeah, I thought it was. We'll let the train run by, shall we? So you got the Spitfires, GT6. Always get shouted at. Oh, blimey, 2 trains. Always get shouted at if you call them the poor man's E-Type, but it's a poor man's E-Type. A big part of this show is the money that they raise for charity, and quite often it's, depending on how well it's attended, region of £20,000 to £30,000. And some of the charities that benefit are, there's Sidmouth Living with Cancer, and then there's the Hospice Care. But there's another charity here which is relatively new at what they're doing, and I think could be quite a lot of interest to some of you guys at home that maybe want to get the younger generations you've got interested in cars into actual work. And this is Steve from Startermotor.
Yes, Steve Coots, General Manager of Startermotor.
So give us a quick 60-second overview of Startermotor and what you're trying to achieve.
Fundamentally, Startermotor is all about assisting a younger generation to find work experience, jobs and hopefully build careers in the classic and historic car sector. That's fundamentally what the charity is about. I've been running the charity for about the last 10 months, and fundamentally what I'm looking for are youngsters in schools, in colleges, those that are getting involved with learning programs, British Motor Museum, and working with the careers hubs in the counties to find those who are susceptible to what we can offer. Generally speaking, about 3 to 5% of any year group have an interest in this sector, whether it's automotive generally or more specifically classic and historic. They've generally grown up in a household where dad has got a classic historic car and they've kind of got petrol in the veins. So we're targeting Gen Z, mid-teens to sort of mid-20s. That's the demographic that we're targeting, and we have young ambassadors who represent the charity and can talk for the charity, who come from that cohort. Naturally, those are the true face of the charity, and we are based primarily at the moment around the sort of Midlands, but ultimately, clearly here we are in Devon. We're gradually extending out and building awareness of the charity, beyond the local environment.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Steve. So if you've got children, grandchildren that, are really into tinkering with the cars with yourself and got a love for classic cars, get over to Startermotor and you can actually find out ways they could turn that into a career. And of course, the other thing we've got is that it's not just these charities here. There's a whole raft of charities along the front of the Crashbox and Classic Car Club stand, and people are able to vote as part of their entry passes to decide which of those charities get which part of the funds. So I think that's a great way of sharing it out. Well, we're over here. On the right, we've got TVRs, as you can see, in all their glory, S2s, Chimeras, Griffiths, the 350 wedge, or 400 sorry wedge, so it's 4 litre V8, Tuscan there, and then I'll tell you what, we'll go about halfway up this one and then we'll swoop back round because we're coming up the back of some of the other stands we've already seen, and then we'll go as far, I'll tell you what, we'll go as far as the Jaguar one. So sorry, we missed the Riley Club. Sorry, I'll make you go all the way around. I'll tell you what, I'll run around this side because I was going to turn around, but now I'm not. But yeah, the Riley, I'm trying to think, what was the last Riley? I reckon it might have been the Riley Elf. But it was one of the BL brands, which sort of gradually fizzled out, and I believe might be owned by BMW now, I think. I could be wrong. But they gradually went from being cars which were individually built to ones which were evolutions of other BL products, obviously the Mini there and the 1300. But another one of those great British brands that we've lost, I'm afraid. And then we've got the Jaguar Club on the left. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have to. So nice E-Type there on the right, the Mark II, and of course the X-Type, which has had certain derogatory things said about it, but it seems to now settle down as one that's sort of accepted as a classic. And so many cars go through that, don't they? And then we've got Volvo Club on the right there. I think this might have been is this the one we followed in this morning? I think it might be. But Volvo there has actually got extended rear doors, so that's like a Royal Edition, what we call it, or limo, semi-limo. I know Jaguar and BMW do long. Princess Anne owned it. I thought Princess Anne. No, you can't have a. No, you got to have the skim at the GTE when you say that, haven't you? so.
The chap who owns it owns those 3 Volvos over there. The ones. Tony Malkin, his name is.
Right, okay.
And I believe it's got some royal history with it.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, thanks for that one. Right. So yeah, it used to be owned by Princess Anne. There we go. It wasn't always a skimmer to GTE. Every day's a school day. Oh, and the very early, sorry, I've run by it. 1, got that wrong. 164. So that's the bigger version. But they did keep that shape and style for an awful long time, didn't they? So, then we've got, again, MX-5, a lot of those here today. And again, Rover, now, I'm going to have to guess who these guys are because they don't appear to have a back. Oh, no, that's the Volvo one for next door. But it's the Rover Club of some form. Nice old P5 there. I think that's what they call the low-line roof, I think. I think the one that Maggie Thatcher turned up in was a high roof. We're going to do a cheeky cut through the Mini stand, I think. No, we're not. We'll go around the end. Because if we loop down the end there, I think we've actually covered all the clubs. Briefly, but we have covered all the clubs. Oh, this is the advanced drivers. I'm not going to do the string back thing because I'll get shouted at in the comments. I know what you lot are like. So, Devon Vintage Car Club. Nice selection of bits and pieces here. Nice bits and pieces, sorry. I'll make this up as I go along, so you have to wing it. So, a nice Mark II Jag on the end. And then the later Zephyr to the one we saw earlier. Big old things, weren't they? When you think they were out back in the 70s. And yeah, pre-runner to the Granada, but big old chunky things, weren't they? Couple of nice old school Rolls Royces there. Cavalier convertible. Still, I saw one go through SWVA a couple of years ago, and it just didn't get big money. I think it was about $2.5 grand. So, you know, if you want something unique and at a budget, they are a good one to go for. And then we've got the Standard Motor Club, again, another one of those brands that we've lost. You know, went to Standard Triumph and then basically that was that. Thereafter was it evolved just in the Triumph band, and obviously ended up under BL. And then we've got BMW Car Club here, Cornwall region. I'm trying to think how we're going to cover all these. That's why I'm trying to think and talk, which is not really a good combination for me. What have we got in the BMW to look at? Oh, I've got a nice M3 in the middle there. I always just love it. I do like a bulging arch. Take that as you want. But yeah, they are just such a lovely car, aren't they? And then another E30 with the convertible, the factory version. I think what we'll do is we'll charge down here and then we'll loop round up that last aisle before I let you all click away. Sunbeam Alpine again there. Again, like I say, the pre-runners of the Tiger, which was a real monster of a car. And of course you can't mention the Tiger without saying you had to take one of the spark plugs out through the glove box because the engine was so squeezed in the car. And then we're down to the Sunbeam group. Or Sunbeam Rapier. Have they got one of the late? Oh, I did like those. There's obviously quite a lot of these older ones on the stand, but you just don't see many of these. And Sunbeam was, I think, like the sporty brand from the Roots group, because this has a very similar look to the Hillman Hunter back in the day. But I just love that long fastback shape on there. And of course, you can see great by the windows down. It's pillarless on there as well. So we've got a nice MG selection down the other side, going from the older, I think that's a TC or a TD, the green one there with the chrome wire wheels, through obviously midget MG8, and then on to the latest MG TFs. And then Southwest Retro Rides. Retro Rides seems to be a big sort of growth area, doesn't it? Is Retro Rides a new phrase for classics? Don't know, discuss in the comments. Oh, Datsun, is that a Cherry? No, 140Y. Wow. When did we last see one of these? Lovely, isn't it? Can we have another kit car moment? Is it a Manx? Oh yeah, it's a Manx. God, I need to get out more. 2CV based little sports car. 2CV obviously had separate chassis, so you can take the body off and put one of these on. I think it's great. Moon discs on the wheels. And a Camaro Z28. I went all American, didn't I? Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds drove a Trans Am, didn't he? Maybe not. Anyway, little Fiat 500. Oh no, Fiat 126. Sorry, get me act together. Oh, funky little wheels. I like those. Look. It looks like the discs is on the outside. Then there's the Trialing Club, the Motorcycling Club. Obviously the guys that try and charge their cars up muddy tracks and other similar things. Liège there is a very typical one. And then the Viva Drivers Club, Viva GT. They actually did a GT, and they also did a Brabham at one point, like as in the Formula One team. Boring but slightly interesting fact there. And then we're back with the TR register. Nice pair of TR, or several TR6s there. And we've got a TR3, another TR6. And then we got the Stag Owners Club. You can tell that by the number of stags there. And then over to the left, we've got it's the MG 100 Cavalcade. And of course, of all the cars in there, I'm picking out on this little MG Metro. Remember the furore after MG had been dropped, like the MGB and midget had stopped production, and they suddenly brought it as a badge back on as a sporting brand on the other cars in the group, and there was a bit of a riot about that. And but there we go, that's what happens as things progress. So what have we got here? We've just come towards the end of all the clubs down here. Cambridge Classics, another nice MR2. And again, I know we saw the convertible a minute ago, but when did you see a regular Mark II Cavalier? It's just like, it's one of those, you click your fingers and they all drop off the road, don't they? Nice little polo foot. And I know we can't get a very good shot of it, but there's the red and white car at the back there is the Nash Metropolitan, and that was a car that Austin, I believe, thought we're going to take over America with, but you can see by the size of it, it wasn't quite American sized, so it didn't actually do very well. It was very American with, you can see the wheel on the back and that kind of thing, and it just didn't work. Nice idea, but badly executed, I would say. They've got a great selection, these guys, haven't they? A big old club, isn't it? And then we got the little old Nova on the end there, and I think that, just these minis here, I think that sort of wraps up where we're at really with the club side of it. Obviously it's massive, and I can't talk about every single car on every single stand. I should appreciate that, because you just wouldn't watch it, it'd be all way too long. So let's see what else we can find. This area is the Crashbox and Classic Car Club's own sort of enclosure with their members' cars, and there's a great selection here, so I thought we'd take a quick whiz round. Nice Sunbeam Alpine there, really nice car from the 1960s. They did develop it into the Sunbeam Tiger, which had the American V8 engine in it. Nice TVR wedgie. I do like a wedge. Yes. Anyway, moving on. I know the owners of this car, this Lotus Elan, and it's got beautiful patina. They've got no plans to paint it. I think it's just a great little car, and it's just loved and used, which these classics should be. Of course, we all know what this is, lovely E-Type, and if we have a quick look, the engine bay, well, I think I'm going to go and eat me dinner off that a bit later. And then nice Mercedes SL. Doesn't it look good in that gold colour? I do like those original hubcaps as well, that's got the paint on it. Now in the corner I am struggling, that's a Singer. Sorry, a bit pre-war, so a bit early for me. And then a Triumph 3, it's a 3, confirms it on there because of the grille. On the 2 you got the recessed grille. And then I am struggling again. It's a Triumph. It got Glory under it. I don't know if that was the model. XK, that's a bit early, a bit new for us, isn't it, really? And then we're obviously in the earlier cars here. Not a Model T. What's this one? It is a Model T. It looks big for a Model T to me. I thought they were all little tiny ones. It's not just me. I'm glad about that then. Nice MGB GT. What's this? Oh, Ford Model 8 1930. Thanks for the plaque on that one. That dug me out of a bit of a hole there. Mini Clubman. I always did like the front of the Mini Clubman. They were a nice looking car, weren't they? They were, and it's got the later wheel arches on it. It looks nice. Nice looking, Billy pre-war Riley there. And then luxury Rolls Royce with that big, is it 6.78 litre V8 engine? They always describe the horsepower as sufficient, which sounds reasonable, doesn't it? And it's got the hydraulic type suspension. So what else should we pick on? Nice Toyota Supra there, BBS rims on it. And then this is a rarity. We'll have a look at this one. Gordon Keeble. These were a niche manufacturers from the 60s. Really nice car. I think it had a V8 engine in it from memory. They actually produced in 99. Yeah, it had the Chevrolet V8 engine in it. I like those. Nice Grand Tourer those are. We'll spin round because it is a glorious day here, as you can see, and we're trying to keep the sun behind us so you can see what's going on. Let's have a look along this road. Early Morgan there. As you can see, the design hasn't changed dramatically, and we can see that because after those nice two MGs, we've got a 2019 Morgan there. Nice Cortina V6. Of course, they did the 2.3 engine V6 in that one. Of course, they could have a 2.8 in it. That looks in nice condition. Interesting alloy wheels. Not sure it's quite my thing, but hey. No, actually, I quite like them, actually. They're very, very period. And what we got next to it? A Morris. I'll take the word for that because it's outside of my knowledge. Another wedgie. Now, Hillman Minx. Hillman Minx convertible, though. Really don't see very many of those at all. Another lovely looking E-Type there, look at that. Great selection of cars these guys have got in here. And then VW Polo, little coupe one, and Frog Eye Sprite. And of course, I can't do Frog Eye Sprite without mentioning the fact that the very first Haynes manual was on a Frog Eye Sprite. So we're going back in a few years here. So I'll tell you what, Jason, we're going to dive through here, because those were a bit before me. Oh, do like a TR6. Do like a TR6. And then we've got the TR4 next to it. The thing I always spot on these is you look at the doors on both of those cars, they're identical, and basically they evolved the front and the back end, and I think they did a great job with it, because you look at the TR6, I think that really suited its sort of 1970s period. So Mark II Jag, always double check when I'm looking at the back of one of those, because it can look a like the Daimler version. And what else we got? Oh, nice XK there, 120. Don't know. I'm going to have a look. Looks like a. Does it say? No, it doesn't say what it is. I think it's a 120, but I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then the swing route. This is very nice. We saw this on the way in. I'm over here, Jason. We saw this on the way in. Citroen SM. This is for the period where Citroen owned Maserati, so it's got that crazy Citroen styling with a Maserati engine in it. Oh, doesn't it look fantastic? I know, like Top Gear's Chris Harris is a big fan of these. They are, I just love them. Fantastic shape, just screams 1970s all over you, doesn't it? What else have we got that you are gonna, oh, here we go, a bit of James Bond, DB6. Is it a DB6? I'm never quite sure. I'm sure it's a DB6. Yes, it is. Of course it's a DB6. Sorry. It's early in the day. I'm still getting going. You've got to give me a minute. And another XK. I think that could be 150. Yeah, it is a 150. Saw one of these at one of our recent auction videos at Haynes. And sadly didn't sell. It got to about 34,000, I think. And it was really, really honest and original. And then this is a Jensen's. Now everyone knows Jensen, they think of Jensen Interceptors. I think this is the CV8. I'll see if it's got a badge on it, because no, I'm completely wrong. It's a 541R. But this is the predecessor to the Interceptor, and obviously the Interceptor was a much different car. And I think that had a fiberglass body. I might be wrong. And then look at this humongous. It is the Jag version, isn't it? Yeah, Jaguar. I think that's the Mark 10. What does it say on the back? No, it's a 420G. Got that wrong. They look like a Leviathan, aren't they? They're massive. Nice RS2000. Wouldn't be a classic car show without a Ford RS2000. And then, oh, sorry, I'm going to swing you over here because I've caught the eye of a Bristol. Handmade cars. Obviously, Bristol also known for making planes and made these very gentleman carriage. This one's a 408. I just think they're lovely. They're real 50s, 60s gentleman's carriage, aren't they? You can see them wafting across Europe in that, can't you? So what else have we got? Oh, nice Turbo Esprit. I'm not allowed anymore to use that abbreviation for Lotus that starts with loads. People get upset in the comments with that one, but yeah. There's another one over in Individuals we just saw that had the engine cover off, so which was always slightly worrying, but yeah. Great design on it, and it lasted so long as well. I know they evolved it a little bit, but yeah, I think that was great. Nice little MG midget there, a lot nicer than mine. And then finally we've got Pistachio at the end here, the little green fella. This is a replica of a 1936 Aston Martin International. So hence the fact it's on the Q plate. I think that's really pretty. I think anyone who's in the kit cars reminds me of an NGTA. So we haven't covered every car, but this is a quick little roundup of what the Crashbox and Classic Car Club has on their own enclosure. Right, we're just taking a quick step away from our sort of ongoing show video because we're going to go back in time 48 hours to build up of this amazing show. And I've managed to grab Richard Gardner, who is one of the main organisers of this show, Thank you, Richie, for taking time. I know you're really, really busy and you want to be very quick.
No, well, it's a pleasure. I mean, we need to advertise what we're doing, and I think it's a good thing to do.
Well, what I want to do is get a feel. When the show's celebrating 50 years and we're seeing some great cars from that, what was the first show like? Tell me more.
So the first show that we had, they've all been held at Powderham at the castle, but the first show was in the castle forecourt, and I wasn't there then because I'm not quite that old, but basically there were 60 cars that we managed to squeeze into the castle.
Brilliant. So what's the scale of it now? 60 cars back in 1975?
So right now we have about 1,800 cars, motorbikes, and then we have steam engines, we have tractors, commercial, lorries, basically anything that has ever been on the road is here, and there's over 2,000 vehicles on site over the weekend.
Wow. And the scale of what's going on here, I found amazing. There seems to be little quad bikes going everywhere, moving stuff around. There's articulated trailers bringing generators in, toilets in. There seems to be everything going on. What's the build-up plan? When did you start?
So we've already started next year's planning already.
Okay.
So it takes a year's worth of planning, and by September everything has to be booked because otherwise you won't get it. So you have to be prepared and organised to do that.
And when do you actually land on site and start putting this together?
So we landed on site. Basically the first thing, everybody that's here will see that all the edges are all trimmed and everything. So on Saturday a tractor was here for 14 hours cutting grass and clearing away all the hay because of fire hazard.
Okay.
And then on Monday at 8 o'clock we come here, and I will leave this field at about 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon.
So that's 8 days start to finish.
8 days start to finish.
And how many bodies have you've got here helping? Because
So-
we're here on the Thursday, so you're sort of 4 days into build up.
So on the Monday morning we had about 35 people sign on, and there's been between 25 and 35 people right up until today. And whilst you're looking at the field today, and you will see it, because of the weather and because of the experience of what we've got, and the generic age of the people that set this show up is over 70 years old.
Wow.
So they're not young people, and a lot of them are in their 80s.
So this is where you need a bit of a shout out for people that love these kind of shows, to see them.
Yes.
You need the younger generation to come in behind them and get involved.
So our strip line is that we want the young 60-year-olds. So yes, because basically the older people just can't do this. So yeah, so it takes a lot. And then during the show we have about 85 marshals that are all on rotas to man gates and to basically keep all the public and fulfill all the requirements of the show.
And talking the public, how many people do you hope to get through it? We got some glorious weather here and expected this weekend, which is that good for you or bad for you?
It's obviously good. Mud and rain is not good in the show, but in the 50 years we've only cancelled the show once, so that's not bad. And it was all set up and we were here on Friday night, but it just rained so much that the car park was about a foot underwater.
Ah, I can see that's a problem.
So yeah, it's good, and we should get between 3,000 and 5,000 people through the gates over the Saturday, and about the same on Sunday. It depends whether the people go to the beach. It depends, but hopefully we'll get a good 3,000 plus people come through the gate.
That's brilliant. And the scale wise, it's just, I think as we look round, I think hopefully you'll see this with the pictures at home. As you look round, it's very difficult to imagine how this show looks on a Saturday and Sunday, because we're looking at lots of clear space. We can see out over the river estuary. It all looks fantastic, doesn't it? And it must be a great feeling for you guys that suddenly all your hard work on Saturday morning blossoms into a fantastic show.
It is a lot of hard work, and it's, to be honest, why do we do this? Because we give money to charity. We're giving to cancer, to hospice, to all sorts of different organisations this year, but we don't make any money. Not one person in the whole of this show gets paid, and a lot of people don't realise that. So it's completely voluntary, and we put the show on and we raise money for charity and we donate money to charity.
And that's not a small number as well. We sort of skip over that, but the money you've raised for charity each year is quite stunning.
Oh, over the years, yeah, we've raised a lot of money. I don't know the exact figure, but it's hundreds of thousands. And I mean, hopefully this year we'll donate 20,000 to charity, maybe 25. It just depends how many people come through the door. But what they don't realise is, for us as a car club, and it is only a little car club, it costs over £130,000 that we have to front up front to basically put this show on.
We'll scan through some of the lists of the jobs you guys have to do, and it's quite stunning the amount of effort and money and all that for a small club. Because how many members are you?
About 400 members, roughly.
Yeah. So that's, for 400 members sounds a lot of people, but to put something like this on is,
it takes us years and years and years to save the money up to be able to put the show on. So a lot of people say, oh, well, you've got far too much money in your bank, but you've got to have the amount of money it costs to put this on.
Yeah, because if you cancel it on a Sunday night, or sorry, on a Saturday morning, you're out of pocket, aren't you?
Yes, big time.
So, Richard, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you have phone calls and there's, people around us trying to get your attention. So thank you so much for doing that.
And enjoy the show and enjoy having a good look around.
And if you're interested in the show, want to get involved, look up the Crashbox and Classic Car Club. I do have to remind myself every time, sorry Richard. And get involved. These shows will only continue if the younger guys get involved. So if you've got a classic, put your hand up and get involved. But again, thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
And there he was, gone.
Oh.
Can I have my mic back?
Yeah.
Right, we're over at the individual car displays, and this runs in age order. So we're starting with the older stuff back around the 50s, or pre-50s, sorry, and then we're going to work our way all the way down the other end of the field, down to the more modern stuff. So this is a bit of a grey area for me, so we'll do what we can. Interesting, these two cars here. This was MG's offering just post-war, and basically was a redo of what they put out before the war. And then along came the MGA, which was a very popular car in America. And then we got a 1911 De Dion Bouton. Yeah, no, don't know much about that one at all. Couple of Land Rovers here, and if we swoop round, we've got a nice selection of American cars down the other side. I know it's a Cadillac, but it just reminds me a little bit of Christine. What was that, a Plymouth Fury? Plymouth Fury, Christine? Yeah, I think it was. And then we've got Wolsey, and elsewhere in this video you'll see the Riley version of the same car. Always think with the Wolsey, the little badge on the front lights up. Another interesting but slightly boring fact. And then we've got Morris 8, is that? Yeah, it is. And then we'll swoop round. Because interestingly, off camera, we had a little chat about this. This is a Citroen Traction Avant, meaning it's front wheel drive. Very low car for its period. But the interesting thing is these were produced from pre-war up to about 1955. And they replaced this one day to the next with a Citroen DS. What a quantum leap that was. And this one I think we know is, I think this is a car that was left on a, oh sorry, that's all right, car that was left on a pier for a long time and has been restored. What we got on the other side? MG, I think it's a Y type, is it? Oh, YB, yeah. So MG didn't, this was post-war, didn't just do the MGAs and MGBs. They also did saloon cars. Nice selection down there of MGs as well. There are so many cars here, we are likely to miss a few out, but we'll try and catch as many as we can. And then we've got, very early Subaru. Very early Subaru. Nice period wheels there. What would it be? V-Race 79? Cool, I can remember them. Cool. And then for the last on these row, just behind it is the Borgwards. I think that is it Isabella? Something like that? Isabella? I think they were German, I might be wrong. But quite an interesting car, not many of them in the UK. And then we've got a very, very early Mini here. I would imagine, oh, well, December 62, so they came out in 59, so a couple of years into production. Oh, and just behind we got the singers that are going round. And of course, just as they turn up, they have stopped singing. But we'll give you a quick look at those. Doing those 1950 style.
Hello everybody, we're the Hummingbirds. Lovely to be singing with you. I'm Clara. I'm Grace.
So when I can get Jason to focus back on me, I'm over here, Jason. Hello, I'm over here. There we go. Yeah, that's where I am. Yeah.
If you can chase us for a CD.
And again, Riley here. I think we've mentioned elsewhere about Riley becoming almost badge engineered. That was the Farina style, which was also Austin, Cambridge, Morris, Oxford. Another couple of MGTTTCs, I think. I'll probably get shot. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you will. Nice early Type 2. And then very, very nice XK Jaguar. So I reckon that's an XK 150, but I could be wrong. And the 150 on that was the speed. Tell you what, we'll loop these up and then go down the other side. So a couple of Hillman Minxes up the top. The far green one, that's a Super Minx, because it's a bigger version. And then there's a little Hillman Minx. That might be is that a Husky? No, I think that was the Imp, the van version. But yeah, you don't see many of those. It was a Husky. Oh, thank you, Jace. God, I am good, aren't I? Even by my own low standards. And then we got a Morse type Jaguar Mark II, and then a very, very nice Mustang. Oh, that does I do like the notchback style of those. Moggy Minor with mini lights. Mini lights, I don't know. It's just such a go-to, isn't it, for alloy wheels? But I'll have a look at that. There's some interesting work going on there with that Type 2 camper van there, isn't it? Yeah. And then next car is quite interesting for that. You may or may not know that is a Ford Console Classic. They did the Console Classic and the Capri Classic, and you can see where that sort of rear window shape was started for the Capris that came after it. Wasn't made for very long from memory, that one. Another Mark II Jag. Earlier Spitfire on there. See, they look nice on original wheels. Don't keep sticking mini lights on everything. Says the bloke who's got mini lights on his midget, but they came with that. Oh, see, you don't see so many Mark II Cortinas at these kind of events nowadays, do you? That looks tidy. You can imagine trying to find those wheel trims. So, MG magnet down on the end here, and I'll tell you what, we're going to take a bit of a shortcut, Jason. We'll go this way. And again, we're back with badge engineering here with the Riley Alf Mini with an extended boot and a nice. Is that a Jag? No, that's the Daimler. I think that's a 250, so that's got the 2.5 litre V8 in it. And then these, I can't remember what they're called. Were they just 3.8? These were the late. You see, it's got a slightly different face on it. Those hooded eyes on the front of there compared to a Morse car, but they were like the run-out model before the XJ came along. And things have gone a bit all over the place. Ah, that's Comet brand. But obviously you can see by the front of those, they called them Husky as well. It wasn't just, I hadn't completely lost the plot, only nearly. So, but I'm assuming AA had those as a patrol. Oh, I like these. Couple of nice MGs there, but look at this. Sunbeam Stiletto. I always think that was a lovely shape with that fastback shape there. Do like a coupe. And then what we got? BMW, I think E28, if I got that right, possibly. And then Vauxhall Cresta. Obviously, people remember the PA Cresta, but that's the PB, I believe. Later style. They sort of softened from that American style and the big fins and everything else there. So, oh, is that a 1600 GT? It's definitely a Cortina. We know, is that a 1600 GT? I reckon that could be. Or 1600E. Oh, 1600E. Look at that. Sorry, move on. Focus, focus. And then what else we're going to pick out? Oh, here we go. MGC, so that is the bigger engined MGB GT. Sorry, my love. That's all right, sorry. Didn't want to get in your way. I can see you admiring it.
I was admiring that one, yeah.
Yeah. And that is obviously a Triumph. It's not, I was going to say Mayflower, but it's not. It's earlier than that. And a nice couple of Beetles on the end here. So what have we got? Oh, the Singers have crept up on us again from behind. Right, we'll go up this and then come back down. And we'll... What is? Oh, Galaxy, Ford Galaxy. It's probably not the best route to go. All I wanted to say, and then we'll move on, is this is we saw the console classic. This is the console Capri. You can see very much that rear window shape coming. So we'll run away from the Singers, because I think they're going to overpower my mic. Fiat Coupe there. 1, 2, 4. Cool, there's some nice rare cars here today, aren't there? I do like that. Is that a 1? 1, 2, 4 Sport. Oh, God, I'm good. I really am impressed with my own nerdy knowledge at times. And then we've got a nice selection of Moggy Miners here. We'll evade the Singers for overriding my audio. Midget down the end there in much better condition than mine. So we'll cut through. So I'm just looking at that. Oh, we'll come back to that. It's not quite a kit car, but we'll come back. So we've got a very nice E-Type here. I thought at distance it was metal flake, and I realised it's been covered in, oh, it is metal flake of some form, or metallic. Very nice car. Sorry, I was going all dewy-eyed over the E-Type there for a minute. XJ Coupe. There was a couple of them at the 200 car barn find auction we did the other week. Nowhere near the condition of that one. It was very nice. I'm not sure about the wheels, if I'm personally honest, but that's choice, isn't it? That's what we're all here for. Selection of nice Type 2 vans, camper vans. And then nice mini clubman here. So he's got modern LED top headlamps. I'm never keen on those personally, but it's got a Nissan twin cam engine in it. It is glorious. I think I saw that at Camerton. I think we're going to run away from the music again. Now we're a little bit of a kit car avenue here, so let me have a moment. So we've got a couple of Novas. So these were VW Beetle based, but obviously had that very futuristic lift-up roof. And then the real top end of the kit car world is this Ultima GTR. Allegedly, at one point, that was the fastest car around the Top Gear track, but because it didn't go on telly, it never got logged. But they are a real supercar. They've been developing that car for 20 years. Oh, Saab. Saab 99, wow. Well, we've got Triumph 2000 Estate. Oh, the Morton Mob. I do like these wackier names. People are coming out with clubs. It's great, isn't it? It's not rather than the sort of XYZ Classic Car Owners Club or whatever. Much more fun. Ooh, TR6. Do like a TR6. Oh.
Yeah, I did. I worked on 111s. I worked on DC.
So apparently that Chevette HSR runs on water. That is that an HSR? I'm not sure. Is that an HSR? I'm never sure. Let me go and have a closer look. HS. The HSR would have had bulbous arches. Got that. Right, now I think I'm going to go full nerd on you here because I know it's a Clan, I think it's a Crusader. Lot we use for motorsport. It is a Crusader. God, I'm good. I think they might have been built in Wales, I might be wrong. I've been known to be wrong occasionally. But it's got, I should have waffled, it's actually got Hillman mechanicals in the back. So, Hillman Imp, not a popular car for kit cars, but it is in that case. First P6 that we've seen, I think. Seen a lot of P5s, P4s and later ones. I always remember my father, bless him, thought this was like the last proper designed Rover, and he was sort of mortified when they came out with the SD1. Don't think he'd ever bought one, but he could be mortified, it's allowed. Right, let's have a quick U-turn because we've got this here, which I am not sure what it is. We'll just come around this lady here. Ford, I assume it's a Ford V8. It says Ford V8 on the front. White interior looks very nice, but I've got to say it wouldn't be any good in my household. Listed on the certificate in there as a 1972 Ford convertible, so could well have slipped under my kit car radar. There were a lot of those guys in the 80s that came out with those kind of bodies onto all sorts of cars. So we'll bash through here. Obviously we're getting up later in years, we're coming into the 1970s here. So we've got Mark III Cortina. Oh, look at that for a bit of patina. God, we like, I do like proper patina, that is. Now, I don't know if that's been done. And on the back, it's got that core thing of the 70s, one of those plastic, what the heck did they call them? I can't remember. The rear screen things with the slats that hopefully Jason's looking at the moment. They were everywhere, weren't they, on all sorts of cars. Must have created quite a landfill. So that's interesting. This one's been updated with the fuel injection from a Sierra. Oh, a Jeff Urine. So these had, hang on, there's a thing on the far side. These were sort of Cosworthy of the day, and I'm just whizzing around because I don't want to tread all over those people. Give me a race proved, turned to a Savage, fitted with a Westlake tuned 190 horsepower 3 litre Essex. So first owner was the Honourable JFH Baring of Baring's Bank. Yeah, that didn't end well, did it? But yeah, nice little scoop on there, like that, because they did a factory V8 Cortina and Capri in South Africa, and they were Piranha. I think the Capri was the Piranha. I can't remember what the Cortina was called. They were a nice Triumph 2000. Of course, these were competitors with each other back in the day, really. Oh my God, Cadillac Fleetwood. Yeah, you need a big barn to store one of those in, don't you? Nice Corvette. I never remember which series is which, but there we go. We've got quite a few American cars here today, which is unusual. Little Fiat 500, and of course what would have been its competitor, the Mini beside it. So let's buzz down the other side. Cortina GXL. Nice those period rose style wheels with the chrome trims. I did always like those. Just not a fan of mini lights. Sorry, mini lights. I don't know, what is it? Don't know. I'm becoming obsessed with it. But hey ho. What have we got? Nice Triumph Herald. Herald convertible. And a nice. See, you don't see many Austin Mini Countrymans. And that's a nice one. I wonder if that's owned by who I think it is. But that has got a lovely interior with a Basto roof on the top. Of course, the great thing with these are not like the Minor, that the wood is actually just stuck on to make it look like a Traveller, but with the Minor, the wood was actually structural. So let's wander through here and see where it takes me. So we'll look this way, and then I think we'll swoop down, and we're almost there then. So up the top we got the blue Triumph Spitfire and the V79. That would have been one of the last, because that's when British Leyland was culling all those sports cars like the MGB and the Midget, and the Spitfire all went for a Burton. And then next to it, I think it's the only one we've seen, the Rover SD1. Of course, that replaced the P6 that we saw a little bit earlier, a couple of aisles ago. Again, low turnout of Escorts really. There's a later one behind me, but you know, a Mark III Escort. It's probably seen some on the RS side, but I haven't really seen that much. Another kit car. It's a good kit car day. This is a Royale Sabre based on a Sierra. John Barlow, the guy that designed these, was a genius. A lot of you may have heard of a thing called JBA Falcon. He was the B behind that. He then went on to do various other ones. He did a bigger version of a similar style. I think it's just called the Drophead, which was based on Jaguar mechanicals. And he did various other cars. He did quite a lot of wedding cars based on London taxis. And that concept in your head probably doesn't look good, but it really did work. 911. And then see a Manta. It's Manta GTE. So you know, you were either a Capri person or you were a Manta person, weren't you? And I was a Capri person, if I'm really honest, but the Manta has a really nice look. Like the wheels, that's done nicely with the rims. And Granada. We've seen lots of Zephyrs, haven't we? The first Granada I think we've seen. That looks very original under there, doesn't it? Cool. Wish my engine bays looked like that. And then we've got a early Passat, I think it is. Yes, it is, yeah. And then we've got another Lotus Esprit. Volkswagen Scirocco. So this was, again, was in that competitor thing for the Capri, but obviously this one was front-wheel drive because it was based on the Golf. I do like the wheels, turbo roll now. That's probably, those wheels are probably more than my whole fleet. So now I'll have a fair shot. This is Lancia Stratos kit supplied by my friend Jerry Hawkridge of Hawk Cars. He is an absolute genius when it comes to producing replicas. He produces those, produces Cobra replicas as well. And then I think we're just going to hit. We are going to hit peak kit car. We looked at this car before in another video for another channel, and it was based on a rotten XJS, I think. So it's got a V12 engine at the front, home built chassis, and it's basically designed to look like one of those old school dragsters, but it does have a passenger seat. And the guy who built it, I think he's just a cracking genius. He's made a hell of a job of it. The fuel tank's around the back there as well. So yeah, I think this is great. It is monumentally long. You know, let's just start at the back. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, that's 18 foot long. So nice Mini there. Oh, we're nearly at the end. So Nissan see, I always get it. Is it Skyline GTR? Is it a Nissan Skyline? I'm sure I'll get corrected by the Nissan aficionados. That one actually says GT on the side, so the Gran Turismo car, really, isn't it? I remember the first Gran Turismo, Suit went up to about 960 horsepower, and it was completely undrivable, but it was good fun. Oh, Renault 4 van. So you always find it interesting how long the front end of these vehicles last after the back end of it goes. So that's effectively a Renault 4 at the front, but obviously it's the van version. Same happened with lots of old Astras and that kind of thing, didn't it? And then we're through to the last row, and then we've got the beer tent. So, got the Ford Mustang there. Looks like it's had some trumped up bits underneath, strut brace and so on. It was funny how the styling with the Mustang, they went sort of something slightly different. The Gracie gone full circle, ended up back where they started.
He's 4 years old, and we've had
And then we've got the boat, obviously mini based. And I'm sure my mate Brummy Paul will be getting all excited at this point if he's watched this far. But when you look inside, it's just so basic. It's just like foam that thick that's, you know, protecting your butt. Oh, Z3M Touring, I think. Now this is one Z3 that didn't go really through a dip. I did like the style, because sometimes when you change these cars they don't necessarily work out. You know, like going from the convertible to hardtop like that, but I think it really worked in that case. And then XR2i, you see, when do we see those? You just don't, or is it not? It's not an RS Turbo, is it? Could be, could be. I think it's an XR2i. I think the wheels give it away. No idea. It's not got a badge on the back. And then run-of-the-mill Nova with some nice wheels on it, to be fair. So I'll knock back that run-of-the-mill comment. And then, you see, Capris. We haven't seen many Capris. We've got the RS3100 and that was it, wasn't it, really? So this was the real sort of top of the range for the Capri from, I think they came in at about 81 until its final production in December 1986. Yes, I am that boring. 1,886,647 of these were sold. And of course the run-out model was the Brooklands 280, which was based around this car effectively, but with full leather interior and so on.
Trick or anything with your dog yet?
And then, well, look at that for a paint job under the hood. Very nice. Honda Civic. Again, it's great to see the younger generation coming in. There's an organisation here called Starterbox, which are trying to push that. And nice at Polo Bread Van. See, that was my disappointment of that big car auction in Wales. I thought this would go for more money. And then finally, CVR, I think it's a Cerbera or Chimera. Not sure which, one of the two, begins with a C, whichever. Right, that concludes all the individual cars. So we'll have a bit of a look round and see what else we can show you. Right, we've actually just found a little area of the club stands that we hadn't actually covered. So we're just going to do those quickly. And what we'll do is we'll just do these and then we're going to wrap up, so you'll be fine. So on the left here, got a nice selection, quite a few Ford cars, a few Americans, so Mercury there. I'm not quite sure which club this is, but it does look a very nice display. But on the other side, we found where all the Escorts, I didn't think there were many Escorts earlier. Interestingly, right over on the left there, very early XR3, non-injection, cloverleaf alloys, really original car. I've seen that before, I think that's great. And working the way across, got XR4 before, I think it is, or was that a Cosworth? And then you've got the XR2i in the middle with a Mark II XR2 there. And of course the white one there, NFJ11W, that car is absolutely immaculate. That is a super sport. So it's the pre-runner to the XR2, but was actually only produced, I think, for about a year. So bear with me, you might get a bit of generator noise in the background here as we just charge through to cover the last ones that we want to look at. And on the right there, we've got some interesting cars, a lot of which you probably wouldn't have seen before, the sort of Eastern Bloc cars. The one on the left is a Tatra, I think that's Russian built. I think that has a V8 in the back, may not be sure. And then on the right, a lot of you will recognise the little Trabant, famous for when the Berlin Wall came down. And then slightly to the left is a Wartburg. I think there's another one at the back. Interesting car, didn't change much in design, East German, but also two-stroke. So a bit of a smoky one, that. And finally, almost, we've got our friends over at the Westfield Sports Car Club, and they are opening their doors to more owners than just Westfields. Kit Car Church is a very broad one, and they are welcoming people in, and actually I'll be on their stand tomorrow. And then finally, because I forgot to tell Jason I was doing this one, the Rusty Flange Racing. Yeah, again, love all these crazy names for car clubs. I think it's brilliant. Keep it up, guys. But again, a few falls on this one. I think we did touch on the other side of this one earlier. Nice Mark II Capri in there, despite the fact, as I keep moaning about mini lights, it does have mini lights. So I think, after a very long day and a very long video, thank you so much for making it this far. If you have done, it's absolutely brilliant. We've had a fantastic day here at Powderham. It's a brilliant show. It's one on your bucket list. You've got to come down here. It's worthwhile. It may even be Britain's biggest volunteer organised classic car show. Tell me if you know any different, because I'll be very surprised if there's another show with 1,800 cars on it that is run solely by volunteers. As ever, if you've enjoyed watching, please do give that subscribe button a tickle for us. That would really be appreciated. It helps us a great amount and it doesn't cost you anything at all. I'll catch you next time.